Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game for you. This is on Summer Camp. It's the RAGL 12 version of this, but this game's from it's from a fair while ago, a few months I think at least. So it's not a recent one, it's just one I meant to post and didn't get round to it. And I'm going to add a more recent game to the same video. And we've got a dog here leading the way for my opponent. And I've got a rifleman guarding this oil derrick, and the dog's going for it, so he's looking for engineers. But I'm using France for this game. My opponent is using Russia. The dog's hanging around close. The engineer's last, and he's on his way directly towards the dog. We'll see who gets what they want first, whether the dog gets the engineer or whether my rifleman can save him. My engineer's changed direction, and there's an extra rifleman checking the area out, so... Oh, his dog escaped. He took a shot, but... Oh, look. Is they on... how come he didn't shoot? Yeah, he's caught him. I think I may have seen him or something, so there's something going on there. Like I was dodging it. And there's the other dog, he's looking for my troops. Passing very close past me, the enemy there with his engineer. And he's going for that oil derrick. I've revealed my presence. So he's recalling everything. He just sold his kennel, but I've captured one oil derrick. My opponent's going for his second. I'm going for my second. It looks safe. But it looks like I've got my unit of infantry heading into the enemy base by the looks of it. Yeah, I shouldn't... Doesn't look like it'd be wise to go in there. My opponent's got a far superior force. I wouldn't be able to destroy anything before he destroyed those troops. They're only riflemen and not many. Looks like I'm going in. No, that's a mistake. Got the dog. Yeah, that wasn't very good. Not at all. My engineer's got his second oil derrick. It looks like he's heading back to safety. Got some troops here. We're equal in army value now. My opponent's gone for flak truck. Looks like they're moving forward for this oil derrick perhaps, but his engineer's way back at base, so he's not thinking of capturing it. Yeah, that's right, he's destroying it. Looks like I'm sending out rifle scouts, see what's going on. So my opponent's got 2 oil derricks to my 1 now. He's got a larger army as well, 7,400 to 6,400. I'm moving my MCV and it's in a very defensive, cautious position there. It should be here to protect this area from enemy attacks. Here, he can, you know, I'll have to move my units forward to protect the ore trucks, and that means my units won't be amongst my buildings, which is why you put your construction yards and expansions on the enemy's side of your ore patches, just so that when they engage them, they either have to go the long way round to the flank and attack from this way, or attack through your buildings, and that's the best way to defend them. As it is, if an enemy force attacked here and moved here where this square is, here, I would have to move units forward or move my ore trucks back, and that stops my ore mining without even engaging in that case. So I'd have to move my units forward or stop mining. So that's why I should have placed my expansion here. And I've seen these troops, so I'm moving units to defend, and this is what I mean, look, these units are amongst my buildings, so I'm in a far stronger position. He knows not to attack into this, but I've drawn too much to defend that area, and I thought, right, I'm attacking back, but I've taken too much. Nearly everything's moving out, and he's going for it. Look, he's hit my expansion. Now I've got artillery and some units. It's not a... yeah, he's taking it out. It's not a, you know, a really weak force. It's just, compared to this, it's no way near up to standard. My MCV's running away. I've got primary production. It looks like I've switched it to here. Yes, because the defence line is falling back. So I've lost this expansion, but my units are still on their attack. And I bet I've got my hands full. You see, he's got aircraft for the view range. He's got artillery, V2s for long range fire. So he can stand off and destroy things, hit and run and all sorts. And I've attacked here, but it doesn't look like I'm paying attention. Yes, I am now. But I've got artillery with me in this attack, and I'm fighting amongst his buildings, so that's very bad. It was just because I wasn't paying attention, and then obviously I've moved my attention here and attacked forward. But the artillery have balanced out the defender's advantage and done some nice damage there. I need to get these V2s taken out. But he's got a Tesla coil. I'm taking heavy losses. And he's gathering a secondary force over here because he knows he can hold this area with what he's got. So that's why these units are free to attack anywhere else, and he's bringing an MCV with them. So the MCV is protected, and my artillery is trying to escape, but the enemy aircraft are going to pick them off, both of them. Yeah. Now I'm at 10,000 army value, my opponent's at 24,000 army value, so his second army here, you know, he's protecting the MCV at the moment, which is wise, but he's he can attack at his leisure once he discovers the exact situation. Yeah, these guys here could probably hold this force, but when he wants to, he can combine it with aircraft and artillery. And I'm at a serious disadvantage, but my 3 tanks have been spotted because these aircraft can find anything. I'm trying to move forward an expansion, but he's going to be in trouble. And there's my engineer, and there's a small enemy force here. They fell back from their attack over here. I've got a spy there. So, obviously I've been using artillery for a while. I'm trying to employ some infiltrations and stuff by the looks of it. I've turned them into my own riflemen. This one hasn't yet. And the aircraft has picked that yak's picked off my engineer, so it can also pick this guy off as soon as it sees him. I am trying to escape, I've obviously noticed. These tanks are causing a bit of trouble, and I've got an attack here. But the enemy were heading to attack these guys, but now they saw this and they've responded, and he's in a far stronger position. Now we'll see if the infiltration makes it. That force is dying over here. And he did, 2,640 something. That's excellent for an infiltration. I needed that cash luck because it's all I've got. But I lost an army over here. He had strong enough forces in position to destroy me. And these tanks are still drawing attention, but, you know, it's over. That's over now. And I haven't got an expansion set up yet here, but he's got this small force sat idle, so that can pounce at any time. It's even got a heavy tank. And I've got units passing by. I'm unaware, look. And I've got nothing to defend this area. I don't know why these guys are falling back, but he may be regrouping with other elements like his MCV, look. and he may bring artillery to join them or something, unless he uses these as a separate element with the aircraft for spotting, and then that can harass me, and the aircraft will see if I respond, and he can get his V2s to safety escape if I attack, because the aircraft will spot for them. It looks like he's keeping them separate rather than combining them. And look, this group from below here has attacked, and luckily I've wiped them out. Now I've run out of cash again. I'm at 14,000 army value, my opponent's at 33,000. And my tanks, one of them survived and has moved round on a small eco raid. Yep, my artillery. And I've got another infiltration. It's a rifleman. So I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, I'm falling back. I've seen defences. And I'm obviously aware of this. And I've got artillery. I am preparing a fight to make a stand by the looks of it. Yeah, I don't know what the rifleman was doing. But here we go. I've got some combat. I made a misclick with the artillery piece. He ran straight into the enemy, and it was a hopeless fight. I just got overrun. I could do without the suicidal artillery, but it was, yeah, I just got completely overrun. I'm at 4,000 army value. My opponent's at 32, so he knows this is here. This is my newest expansion. Got base defences, they'll chop through a few troops, but yeah, it's looking bad here. No, I didn't even get to drop the ore supplies off. The MCV's trying to escape. No, he's not even going to get to move. Instant death. I've got another force attacking from this side, and there's nothing to resist it. Everything I've got is heading this way. So this is where I'm focusing my defence. He's got artillery. It's too much. Yeah. Looks like I've caught a V2. Yeah, caught one out there. He's got some paratroops dropped behind my lines, look, on the ore patch. That's nice. This force should have attacked by now. And there's more spies. 3 of them. I could do with a cash, look. My opponent's got none. But hopefully by the time they get there, if they survive, and I'm trying to escort them, look. I'm at a 7,000 army value. My opponent's at 37,000 army value. Yeah, I know where the ore refinery is, so that's why I've sent units with my spies to distract the flame tower or destroy it. But my opponent's massing. He's going to soon have he's got a 40,000 value army now. I'm at 8,500. I've got a few units focused here, but yeah, and a few tanks. I'm okay, you know, I've got a few tanks. I don't need loads. I need troops and base defences. I've got very little cash, and my hands are full, look, so these haven't even reacted yet to attack the flame tower. They may even just move near it to distract it. Here we go. My enemy's overrunning my... got an artillery piece, but... Right, let's see the flame tower. Yeah, we've got two infiltrations, but my opponent had no money, so it was useless. I've been overrun here. I've got my MCV to escape, and these 2 tanks are chasing this. Can they destroy it? No, oh yes, I got it, look, that's nice. I'm pleased with that. And I got a couple of infiltrations earlier that were nice, or 1 or 2 anyway. At least one I saw was a nice one. But, and I've attacked here and done some damage. These tanks are actually attacking the oil derrick, but they should move away, because they would have been able to finish that off if they'd have moved to here, say. Or at least had a better chance. But here we go. I'm actually moving over here, evacuating everything. I've got very little cash, not enough to start again. And my opponent's overrunning here. He's actually sent his spy plane, so he's spotted that. And he's caught me. My construction yard. I've only got 1,000 cash. So I can't rebuild anything. There we go, look, I've got a power plant. He knows where I am, so I'm packing up again, but, you know, it's well and truly over. I'll look at the army graphs and stats and charts before I move on to the second replay for you. But here we go, that's the end of the game. And the army graph, here you go, yeah. After the initial engagements, I didn't have an equal army value to my opponent, but I was just beaten down, basically. I did try and expand here, but I didn't get time to get any value out of it, and I was falling back, and he had a spare army from, you know, most of the time he had a second spare army. So he had the advantage all the way there, and the army graph shows that. It was just my army being diminished over time. Earnings graph, yeah, I did have a dip in earnings at a crucial point, you know, that's not good. My opponent's finishing army, aircraft, artillery, plenty of tanks and troops. Yeah, very good army. 47,000 army value to finish with. I killed 195 units. My opponent killed 311, so there you go. He's got the basic support powers of paratroops and spy planes. He did use the paratroops. He dropped some here, about here, to for a small eco raid on my ore field. And one useful thing about paradrops is you could say if you have a force and you split off a couple of tanks, they can then go on a small eco raid and combine with a paradrop. So you could send a couple of tanks fairly quickly round to an enemy expansion somewhere, and then drop your paratroops, and you've got 2 rocket troops, a few rifles, and a couple of tanks. So it's a useful way of making a small eco raid force, is sending a couple of tanks and drop paratroopers with them at the target location once the tanks arrive. And it's quicker than sending infantry on foot because they arrive with the tanks. So there's the production tab anyway. My opponent's still building away. Economy tab, I earned 94,000, my opponent earned 136,000, so that shows you his earnings were far better, and that was a problem for me, cash. 28 actions per minute for me, 41 for my opponent, but like I said, this game was from a fair while back, and I'm going to go to the second game straight away, and it's a game, this is a recent one of my last few games, and it's actually someone trying a specific build. So let's have a look. It looks like 2 Soviet factions. I'm using Russia and my opponent is using Ukraine for this one, and I had no idea they were trying any kind of different build order, but that's what they ended up doing. And we're on Timian map for this one. So I'll be going for engineer straight away because it's I want to capture this one. He's on shift command to take the oil derrick and go straight for the second one. My opponent's doing the same. Oh no, that's me in red. My opponent's done the same. He's in green. Sorry. They're in green, I should say. So yeah, they've done the shift command. And same here, look. Just ordered to capture the oil derrick. Hold shift and tell him to capture that one. So the moment this one's captured, he heads for the second one. You're not wasting any time if you're distracted. You don't even have to do it. All you need to do is make sure that your rifles escort him safely. So I'm going for my second one. There's the engineer now. He's going for the second one. My opponent's in about the same place. Pretty much the same. So we'll have our 2 oil derricks each. Few hundred credits difference in army value, not much. My opponent sent his units round there to attack my engineer. And I do that quite often now. My first rifle or 2, I often send them this way and here to target any engineers on their way here. So I often do that with my first rifleman. Sometimes you can send two, one to wait here for the enemy engineer or to attack him while he's capturing it, and then maybe send one to approach from a further angle from, you know, from this direction to avoid this if there's enemy units there already, and then hopefully catch the engineer on his way to or away from the oil derrick. So you see what I've done there, look. That was obviously too late. The enemies captured it, but that's the location I mean. And then you could send a second rifleman a bit further along and this down here. So where is the enemy engineer? Is that him there? Yeah, there he is. My engineer is here. So I'm moving to take this oil derrick by the looks of it. Let's just see if my opponent sees. He can see this rifleman here, and I'm attacking it. I'm destroying it. Alright, fair enough. What's this? Oh, it looks like a grenadier drop. And my engineer's there, so he needs to get out of there. But I've got my APC with a grenadier drop, and we're at 7,000 army value each. My opponent's very slightly ahead. So I've destroyed their oil derrick and falling back. And yeah, this is the build. You've noticed this. They've actually moved out with their MCV, and here goes my Gren drop. They've got APCs, look. And here's my APC. I've dropped off my grenadiers. They're targeting the power plant straight away. My APC is going to scout for further targets, but he'll kill the engineer while he's on his way. Why not? And then I've got two power plants. The enemy's power plants are gone, so they're in really bad power mode, really low power, and he's sent his APCs ahead. And my grenadiers are now caught out. I did try and get them in the APC to escape and lost it all. So that was a shame, that. But my opponent's destroying my second oil derrick to even things out there, and he's in really bad power mode. My opponent, they are, I should say, not he. But let's have a look at army values. I'm at 10,000. My opponent's at 11,000. Yeah, they've got 4 APCs. I've started to build my heavy tanks now. And he caught my engineer. I left it. That was foolish, because I brought it up there and ended up destroying the oil derrick, so it was foolish of me just to leave it. But I've got rifle guards telling me the enemy's location, and I'm at 12,000, my opponent's at 13,000, and here we go. He's found the edge of my forces, and he's going for crushes with those APCs. So I've done a scatter command, and that was it. It didn't work. But that heavy tank, look how many missiles are striking it. He killed that pretty quickly. And I saw him backing away and thought, right, I'll try and pursue him a bit. And he's moved up to where I'm going to actually expand. So I'm at 12,000, my opponent's at 11 now. So that 1,000 difference is swapped round. Let's just check. Oh, here we go. I bumped straight into the enemy force, but I've got heavy tanks, look. I've only got 2, and I did lose 1 here, look. But they're tough. Took a lot of missiles, and now I've got the advantage. Base defence right next to the enemy troops, and I can bring my infantry next to the base defence for a stronger position. These are mostly veterans, and I've got a heavy tank joining my forces now, but my primary production is here, protecting my base, because you get a game sense for where you're vulnerable. So I'm sending units out, look, see what's going on. And in fact, I decided to group everyone together, although I'm sending out rifles, look. Whenever you move forces out, send rifles in different directions, just to check that you're not running into a trap or being followed, or that the enemy are approaching from somewhere else. So here we go, heavy tanks taking the fire, holding the line, and he's not targeting the barrels. You should do that, because they would kill a lot of my troops, and they've called it, because the build order didn't work. And they've got a couple of APCs, but there you go, they've called it. That was quite quick that they called that. And that's the end of that one. But I've faced that build order with APCs, or a very similar one. I don't know whether they moved out the home base APC, MCV or not. In that last time I faced an APC focused build, I don't know if they did that or not. But you know, I lost to it in the past. I'm sure I have at least once, and it's like the main feature is the APCs. And instead of tanks, and they crush really well, and you can get a few built on the battlefield early before the enemy starts to produce vehicles in numbers, especially if they're heavy tanks and Soviets, because they take longer to build than Allied medium tanks. But I'll look at the army graph, look, and my opponent had a larger army until the engagement started. Earnings graph, about even, although mine was a little less stable by the looks of it. Finishing army, couple of heavy tanks, flame troopers, and a few basic infantry. Combat chart, I killed 106, my opponent killed 71. My finishing army value is 9,600, but for a small game it's not so bad. No support powers as yet, and my production is still going strong. I'm building barracks, base defences, troops and tanks. Standard production underway. I earned 45,000, my opponent earned 45,000. I spent 49, they only spent 43 for some reason. They've got 6 grand, that's why they've still got a lot left. I think the low power that they were under meant that they weren't producing at full rate, at full speed, obviously, and they were still gathering ore, so it meant this cash built up. So they earned the same as I did. It's just they couldn't quite spend as quickly because I had them in severe low power mode quite early, so that's why they've built up that bit of cash. 31 actions per minute from me, 37 from my opponent, and there's the basic stats and graphs. I hope you enjoyed those 2 games. One was from months back, this one was a more recent one. So if you like what you see, what you saw, give us a sub and a like, and take good care of yourselves, and until next time, thank you and goodbye.
Battle control terminated.